Hey, you ever give a grade to something and you're like, man, that grade was way too high. I should change that. And then you want to change it and you forget all about it because your life's really crazy busy.
Not that detailed, but did you, Tyler?
Yeah, that last episode definitely deserves either a D minus or an F plus. I'm not sure which one.
Well, maybe by the end of the episode you'll figure it out. We can go back and change the grade books. When these dads meet world, watching Boy Meets World. We grew up on the show, now we have kids and host a podcast. We watch each episode and then share our thoughts and grades. When these dads meet world.
They want you to take the roles.
We do want you to take the roles. I am one of your dads, and this wonderful podcast we do every single week called Dads Meet World, your weekly deep dive into that 90s classic known as Boy Meets World. I, again, need a haircut, but also, my name is Tyler.
Enough
And
with
joining with me,
that.
as always, is our other co
I'm your other
host.
daddy, Brett.
Yes, we are back at it again today, Brett. We're going to talk a little poetry. And again, we're going to have another episode where the B plot somehow is like amazing. And the actual quote unquote real story is questionable at best.
Yeah, that seems to be the way we go these days.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's a little bit. Oh, well, it's not a little. It's a lot better than last week, at least. At least this week makes better sense.
It does make more sense this week. There's a
Yes,
bit more meat on the bone to chew on.
yes, I agree. Brett, how's it going now? Having uh, one less school age child in your home.
It is different. The emotional roller coaster ride has abated some, but there's still that feeling of you're still my kid, but at the same time you're no longer really a kid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. And as we're recording, we are a half day away from the other two being done with school for the year completely.
Wow.
One has an awards assembly, and the other one has a half day of, I believe, just exams.
Huh.
So it's craziness here in our household. How about you guys?
Nice. I mean, we still have another. We have this week, and then we have another week of school left. So not doing anything. They're just have they're running out the clock.
Oh, Asher has been running out the clock in his head for like 3 weeks.
Yeah,
They've
I
for the last week of school, they've done really nothing of note.
yeah I don't know. Mr. Feeney's like actual challenge to the students before the end of the school year. Man, I kind of wish we had that right now.
Yeah, I can get on board with that.
I don't know, but yeah, and I'd be remiss, Brett, if I didn't mention something right off the bat, because I am not okay, and that's okay. Yesterday, as of recording, was our second son's fourth birthday, and so we're doing okay really throughout the day. But today I woke up and I was just exhausted, and I was like, I'm gonna need a personal day.
Hmm.
So work was very kind in allowing me to have that, and just needed to get some stuff organized and just be productive. And we always have this weird thing where it's like the day after his birthday that is like we need to buckle down and get some things happening. And um, so if you're part of a lost family or connected to a lost family, our hearts go out to you, and just know that it's okay to have bad days. It's okay to be in your emotions, and just know that there are people out there that understand at least a little bit. Maybe not everything, but are at least willing to tell you you're allowed to.
Yes, completely.
So, Brett tried to text me yesterday, and then I didn't respond. So today he was like, "You still with us?"
Yeah. And came right back through with some pictures. So,
Yeah. So I will tell you, Brett, we so the day before is always our kind of panic day of like we need to just we as a family can't just be in our normal. So after
mhm.
church, we decided let's go on an adventure. We could have gone to Presque Isle or whatever, a simple thing. We decided to go to Niagara Falls.
Yeah, and for good-looking people not familiar with Northwest Pennsylvania, we're talking, 45-minute drive versus 2-hour drive.
Yep. Yeah, so we decided to go to Niagara Falls because why not? And
Beautiful
then
country.
we pulled in, we pulled in, and I said to my wife, and I'm laughing hysterically, I'm like, it's a holiday weekend. And we just came to Niagara Falls, a national landmark. Like, there are people who come to this country for this one reason, and we just decided to go there.
Yep. Was it
I'm
crowded?
like, this is literally the weirdest, dumbest thing we probably have ever done. And it wasn't like bumper to bumper, but I mean, there was a good amount of people there.
Hmm. Did the kids enjoy themselves?
They did until there was water, like rain, hitting us in the face. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
yeah. Other than that, if we could have, we would have done Maiden of the Mist, but we were like, we're already getting hit with the Maiden of the Mist.
Yeah, I don't think they would have gone for that.
No, but they thought it was really cool, and I was like, well, we'll come back at some point when the other two are a little bit bigger and when we're more prepared.
That sounds good. Good planning.
Maybe get ourselves so we can go over to the Canadian side too.
The Canadian side is nice. I've been there
I heard
before.
that. I heard
Yes,
the Canadian side is a lot of fun. So,
it is. There's some good stuff over there.
but yeah. So, and there's the other thing. Good looking people. If you need to just go away and go on an adventure, go for it. Because
It's
this is the way
okay
it
to do
goes.
that.
It was funny because I was on the phone with your wife, and I told her, like, yeah, we're in Buffalo, we're by Niagara Falls. She goes, "What are you doing there?" It's like grief. She's like, "Good for you."
Yep. Yep. She was telling me about that this evening.
Yeah. I was like, I could only imagine when she's like, "So you want to know where your best friend is?"
I was telling her, I was like, yeah, I haven't heard from Tyler in a couple of days. She's like, well, yeah, I talked to him yesterday, Sunday. Yeah, I called him. He's like, we're at Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Well, Brett, we should probably get into that synopsis so we can get into poetry.
All right. Well, just like poetry, this might rhyme. Good looking people, we are looking at the 9th episode of season 6. Yes, we're already 9 episodes deep. Poetic License, an ode to Holden Caufield, in which Corey reads Shawn's poems at the local coffee house without realizing the truth behind what he is reading. And here's where I don't write these because they're not at a coffee house, they're in the student union. Meanwhile, Eric, Jack, and Rachel try to cope with the stress of studying for exams. This episode is written by Erica Montolfo. This is a new name for us. This is her first of 4 episodes she'll write, including Resurrection, Picket Fences, and a personal favorite of Tyler's, As Time Goes By.
Ooh.
Yes. Directed by William Russ. Originally aired November 20th, 1998. And currently enjoys an IMDb rating of 7.6. That's a 0.4 drop from last week, and currently enjoys Oh, I don't think that's correct. That can't be 21st on the season because no, that is tied for 11th. I didn't update
Hmm.
my notes from last week. Tied for
Hmm.
11th on the season, along with, let's see here, Friendly Persuasion, Getting Hitched, Road Trip, and Can I Help to Cheer You? So, Tyler, let's take a look at the Nielsen numbers. Last week we had 11.88 million. How do you think we did this week as we wrap up November? Well, no, we're not wrapping up November sweeps necessarily. We still got a week left November, but toward the end of November sweeps, how do you think we did?
I mean, if history has taught us anything, is that typically after a weird episode, we either have a giant bump or a nice little decline. So let's say, like, oh, I don't know, 9.5.
Well, we did have a dip, but not that big. Only 11.07. So we didn't
All right.
even lose a million. We only lost
That's good.
point 0.8.
Hmm.
All right, so that is our setup. The table is ready. Take it away, Tyler.
Yes, well, we begin, Brett, in Feeny's college class. Feeny will
Woohoo! Feeny's
teach
back.
basically all of his classes in the lecture style room. Did you ever have like a small lecture style room like this, Brett?
Every small classroom I had was a traditional setup. We didn't have risers. It was just a level room with desks or
Yeah,
tables.
I don't understand that because I I know we went to the same institution not that long in between each other, but like just this under the way that they do this, like I know for a fact that the bigger lecture halls are that staircase
Oh,
like,
yes. I think
but
this may
other
have
than that,
been, I think it was more visual language for them to try and differentiate between a college classroom and the high school and middle school classrooms that we were used to
which is
seeing.
fair. I mean, Feeny should be in a bigger amphitheater most likely, but oh well.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we're talking about poetry because, Brett, I'm just going to say it's a humanities class. For the randomness of what Feeney ends up talking with him about, poetry is a big thing in the humanities. So let's just say it's they're taking the humanities 101.
I can dig it. Humanities was on the short list of classes that I was going to have him teaching after this week. So,
So they're talking about J.D. Salinger, and he's reading off a poem based on that reading. I can't use that button. That doesn't help me. And Corey is kind of being, I don't know, a jerk, snob.
let's call a spade a spade. Corey's being a butt.
You know, I mean, he's trying to be the funny guy, really.
Yeah, he's trying to be a class clown.
Yeah, and I don't understand this because this is not who he's been in the last
He hasn't been a class
4
clown
seasons.
since sixth grade, maybe
Yeah,
eighth grade.
I mean, like, there's been times when he's made jokes, but it was like Feeney calls him out in his response. He's funny, but this is like Feeney or Corey is basically heckling Feeney.
I can buy this if we're buying into the idea that Corey, as much as we've seen Shawn try to reinvent himself and rediscover who he is, if we're buying into this idea that Corey is rediscovering and reinventing himself as a college student, if
Yeah,
if we buy into that story head that he's trying to kind of trying on this, hey, I used to make jokes and stuff, maybe, I hadn't done that in a while, maybe I should try that shirt on, so to speak, again, try that outfit on again. I can get
yeah.
behind that if we're going with that.
Well, and if we're saying that, Brett, let's just go even further. Corey and Shawn and Topanga and Angela, we'll just put them all four together, have been told for years now, go to college.
Mm-hmm.
You want a good job? Go to college. Go to college. Go to college. Now they're there and they're like, what? We're waiting for the secret things for you to tell us so we can have the good jobs.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think this show will ever actually take a few moments to let them know there is no secret that college teaches you. It's just you do the class, you get a grade, and it's either you did something to learn something or you just get credit for doing the things.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you're there long enough, you'll get a diploma. And
Yeah,
either
pretty much.
similar to high school, that diploma either has power and weight in your life or it doesn't. Gosh, sorry. I'm just
Cat.
watching the cats roaming around all over me, just so suspicious of each other.
They're getting ready to pounce.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. I don't know. I think Corey and Shawn and Topanga and Angela are all going through that freshman nostalgia of what is college to us and what does this all mean. And Topanga's not going to take any of this for light or for granted, but Corey at this point might be.
Yeah. I mean, and his personality does he does tend to kind of gravitate towards other stronger personalities. It's one of the reasons
Yeah.
he's always kind of drifted along in Shawn's wake a lot of the time. So it
Yeah.
would make sense that he's kind of exploring and trying on new hats. So
Yeah. Well, and isn't it so fascinating, Brett, that Feeny just even last season was always so hard on Shawn about you got to learn the things, you got to learn the things, like take the time now, learn the things now. And now in the different contexts, Feeny is really giving space and credit for Shawn to flourish.
yep, I like that.
Yeah. So same teacher, different subject, different environment, different results.
And did perhaps Mr. Feeney learn that he can't treat them as children anymore a couple of weeks back?
Yeah.
That he has to
Well,
step back a little bit.
yeah. Well, I mean, in the episode where Shawn goes to college and he takes the philosophy class, like Feeny makes clear, hey, the work I'm seeing here, you did good work for a high schooler, but not for a college student.
Mm-hmm.
Because in high school, you can, I think we should try to point is like in high school, you can have one or two things. You can either have a very well, like context, very much substance paper, or it can be really grammatically well done. You're not going to do both. But
Mm-hmm.
in college, you have to have both.
Yes.
So yeah. But we learn that Shawn is the one who wrote the poem. We learn that Shawn apparently has been doing poetry for years. It's something he does just for himself, for himself, and Shawn. Um, I was thinking about it, Brett, and could we believe that this is a part of him he's never revealed to our main character? Absolutely. Um,
Mm-hmm.
do I think this is also a way to redefine Shawn and give him more depth? Yeah.
Is it a cheap way to work in Ryder Strong's own poetic leanings? Yes, it certainly is.
Yeah, I will
But
say
it
they.
does it does work into Shawn's character. I can believe between expressing fascination for sonnets back when he first discovered who Angela really was,
Mhm.
and developing an affection for poetry then, and
Right.
his own experiences with discovering deeper learnings for philosophy in his limited time visiting college and high school. I can
Mhm.
see those building into him to want to just write. As he says, he doesn't try to write poetry. He just writes stuff down,
Yeah.
and it just flows at him. He's always been a deeper soul than he lets on. He's always had
Yeah.
a more depth than he lets people see. So, yes, I can buy that this is a valid retcon.
Yeah, I don't know. We just gotta accept that this is the way it is, and I will say I do know that part of season 6, season 7 is them almost allowing the characters to be a little more like the real life people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, to, for lack of a better wording, kind of make them happy a little bit.
Yeah.
So Shawn having more depth. Um, for Eric being more goofy, more outlandish, more of a cartoon. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
Go bigger. You gotta
Yeah.
keep the talent happy.
Yeah.
And you gotta give them more. You gotta let them stretch a little bit more than they've been given in the past 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I just, I don't know. We're setting up this potential conflict because Feeny says, "Hey, I have a poetry class or poetry club or poetry reading night. I think you should come and do this." Now, if you're Feeny and you see this raw talent, wouldn't you not say something without Corey being there? It seems reasonable.
One would think, yes. Yeah.
But that's not what we have right now, I guess.
No,
But Brett,
we need Corey to overhear this so that Corey can
we,
be the driving force behind getting Shawn there.
yeah, Brett, can we get to the real point of the episode? The the and then there were embryos part of the episode where this is the real reason we're all here for this episode.
Enough with the hair!
College can be really stressful, Brett, especially around finals time. And even though for some odd reason the freshmen to not be dealing with finals yet, even though this is right around the time that,
Mm-hmm.
a storyline about their first year of finals would be really stressful. We're not there yet for some odd reason. Um, but yeah, this moment for Eric, Rachel, and Jack of them preparing for a final. I'm assuming it's a couple of finals. I don't know. Um, they look and they act like a lot of people that I know I went to school with. Potentially me is included in that. Brett, do you recognize some of the
I
tension?
recognize some roommates. I recognize some classmates. I don't see myself in them. I never got that high strung about finals for any. I mean, I have one class that I was telling Abby about um, that was really just ridiculous. That I probably should have gotten that stressed out because I knew that it was going to be ridiculous, but I also knew we were all going to fail the final. We were all going to have to do makeup to get points back. But yeah, I see a lot of fellow classmates in these three.
Hmm. Yeah. So Rachel, Jack, and Eric are all studying in the apartment, all by each other.
Yes,
That's not a
and
great idea.
no. So what? I mean, you know, you're freaking each other out. Just go to your own rooms and study, guys.
Yeah.
First rule
Well, I mean,
of studying: be somewhere that's conducive.
right. Well, and it's made clear that it's like they brought their own stuff into these apartments.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they don't have desks, but it would make sense that they would bring a desk. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. That's maybe why I should be on campus. Again, it's the fun of the who cares all about the jokes. But yeah, Jack is eating an apple very obnoxiously, very
Crunch,
slowly.
crunch, 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 crunch.
Um, Rachel is playing with her hair very quietly.
Enough with the hair!
Just quietly, just nervously, just rotating her finger in her hair. And Eric is literally just clicking a pen. And they're just
Click, 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 click,
this
click, 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 click.
awkward tension. And then it's broken by Eric yelling.
I will say,
Enough with the hair!
of those three, I would get annoyed with the pen clicking over and over again.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't get bugged with the hair or the apple. It's the pen that would bug me.
It's just so funny. It's like, of all the things to drive you crazy. Like, I'd be more annoyed of, like, stop looking at me.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, they're all mimicking each other and not needing to defend each other. Like, they are high strung.
Oh, they're ready to smack each other.
Mm-hmm. I love the idea of whatever class that's stressing them out, whatever test it is, or multiple tests they have. Like, they're all feeling this crunch. Yeah, I mean, I will say, like, I most often had papers, but it'd be like one particular class. I'd have like a final test, and then I would try desperately to get the papers done ahead of time, and I'd stress myself out to get the papers done. And then at points be like, I'm just going to quit college. I don't need this class. So my high strung would always be, I want to get everything done right this moment. And not taking it one step at a time, because that's clearly not functional properly. But yes, they're all grumpy with each other. They're all yelling at each other, and they just keep saying, like, "Will you leave me alone so I can study? Okay."
Just let me
And
study,
then,
man. Just let me study.
Eric says, "That's it. I'm going to the library." Like, great. He's like, I don't know where the library is.
That's classic.
So they enter the library, and I will say this: the library that we had at our school was actually pretty conducive to being able to study and study well. Like,
There were some nice
little
areas.
Like, there were some little pod areas that you could kind of sit and kind of be near people, but for the most part, everything was really spread out.
They
There's
even
different
had some
sections you can
study
go to.
rooms you could check out.
Yeah. Oh, I love going up to the third floor and having an open room and just going in there and just sitting and being still. So, and there are also little desks here and there, but the way they make this library is that everyone is in this one little section. My favorite character throughout the whole thing is just the guy behind the bookcase constantly yelling, "Shut up."
Yeah. And unfortunately, there's nothing in IMDb as to who this guy is. But I do have two characters from this library scene that we'll know. Audrey, who is described as just the troll on screen, is played by Alexandra Adi. Only time we'll see her in Boy Meets World. 18 acting credits to her name. She showed up in productions such as Adventures of Pete and Pete, Step by Step,
Step by step, day by day.
American Pie, CSI Miami, and more. And Dick, the friend, quote unquote, of Jack, is played by Sebastian Tillinger, or Tillinger. Only time we'll see him on Boy Meets World. He has 45 acting credits on shows like Hang Time, Grace Under Fire, Step by Step.
Step by step, day by day.
Felicity, Smart Guy, The Drew Carey Show. He was in the movie The Aviator, CSI, Hot in Cleveland, and more. But yeah, nothing about the guy behind the briefcase because we don't see his face. He only says like 3 lines, and 2 of them are the same thing.
There's a part
My
of me
foot's cold.
that wondered if it was the guy who played Goldberg from the last episode.
It's possible, but we never know. We never see his face. We just hear him. I didn't pay enough attention to the voice.
That's fair. Audrey, not Aubrey, decides to have some words with Rachel, and Rachel steps into what I'm just going to refer to as big red energy,
I can buy that. I
because
like that.
she just stands up and just towers over her and chases her down, and
Because
at one
Rachel's a
point
big
has her
girl.
up on her shoulder.
She's tall.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Yeah,
not
a
sure
lot of
if
woman.
Audrey is short or Audrey is average height, but Rachel towers over her.
I'm going to say she's average height. Yeah, but Eric decides to be the a voice of reason, Brett, because everyone's stressed out.
Yes. And I have Eric's study, I have him explaining his study system for
Yes,
us.
please.
I'd like everybody to take off their left shoe and make a pile right here in the middle of the room right now. What are you thinking about right now?
My foot's cold.
Exactly. You're not thinking about the you-know-what?
What?
Can't say it. Look, we all know how important these you-know-whats are to our futures, not only here at Pembroke, but for the rest of our lives. But the only way we're gonna do well is if we relax. You know, we calm down a little bit, we stop biting each other's heads off, and who knows, maybe we can even have a little bit of fun, huh? That's what I call the Eric Matthews foolproof study system. Hello, I'm Eric Matthews. First things first, Rachel, I want you to shake hands with the troll. Then I want everybody to come down here and grab a shoe. You will find who owns that shoe and take them to the movies.
First, I want
Now.
to shake hands with the troll.
We've talked about this before, but partially what he's trying to say to them is what Feeny had told them. Understand that the knowledge you already possess needs to be enough. Don't be too hard on yourself. It's okay to relax a little bit. It's okay just to sit in the knowledge you have.
Yep.
I do love at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, Eric didn't get the knowledge he needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love how
You forgot
Audrey
about that
and
part.
Rachel, of course, are the ones who are friends, and they go off. And Dick and Jack are now going to the movies as well together.
Do you like popcorn?
Yeah. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna take off my glasses because it's serious, Brett. I don't know how we can talk about this scene. Because on one hand, Corey and Shawn and Angela and Topanga show up to a poetry reading, to which we have Corey being Corey, making clear that he has one desire from his fiance that he is not getting, and it's awkward. The other thing is that Corey reads a poem that apparently Shawn decided, I'm going to read this out loud. If Shawn has a bunch of poems just lying around in his notebook, why would he read this one?
Yeah, like I can understand if Corey just flipped it through the book and found one. But Corey picks up where Shawn left off.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn was going to read this one. It was going to get out there from his own lips.
Right.
So Shawn is not all that justified in his anger. Now, he is somewhat justified. He walked away and said, I can't do this. That should have been it right there. Corey did not have, Corey was not in the right to step in and take over. Corey was wrong.
Yep.
But Shawn can't be completely upset because Shawn was going to read that one anyway.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get it. Part of the tension of the episode is that we learn that Shawn still has feelings for Angela, and he has guilt because he's the one that broke up with her. And now, if he says something to her, it's going back on what he said. Shawn has some maturing he needs to do for sure.
Yeah.
But I mean, Corey is in the wrong for reading off the poem that Shawn was going to read off, and that's why I wanted to start this segment off with. I don't know how we can really talk about this episode, this moment, and this like this is really good acting
It
from the
is.
two friends,
And
and
it's a conversation that needs to happen.
right, it's a conversation about boundaries and Corey crossing a boundary for Shawn.
Because Corey has a history of crossing boundaries in this in under the guise of for Shawn's own good.
Right.
Quotations mine. But is this really the best vehicle to get him there?
No.
It's really not. But I do like that Shawn is finally ticked off enough with Corey to say, I want to hear you say you were wrong.
Right.
And it does really annoy me that Corey can't say I was wrong and leave it at that. He throws in the but, which, as I teach my children, automatically wipes out whatever you just said. If you throw a but into anything, it wipes out any apology you just made, any owning up to guilt that you just made. It wipes out whatever you just set out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we get from Corey. We get an apology with a but.
Yeah.
If that.
Right. I mean, and I will say, like, if Corey, like, if there, I kind of wish there was a realm where the poem, there's the Shawn of two poems side by side that
Mm-hmm.
both of them start off like, say, the first three lines are like the same exact thing, or first couple words, or letters are the same exact thing, or whatever. And then we could get an indication of like, no, Shawn was not going to read the one about Angela. He was going to read a different one, but because Corey meddled, Corey revealed something that Shawn wasn't ready for. That I could get behind.
Totally. That
Or,
would be well earned.
right. Or even better, if Shawn didn't bring his book, but Corey did.
Yeah. Because
And
Shawn came prepared, ready to read something.
right. Yeah, it's the setup on this situation. I wish they would have taken another pass at this to kind of help, because really, no, Corey should not have read the poem, but Shawn was going to read the poem. So, in the realm of Corey and Shawn's relationship that's been established throughout the show, Corey in his mind was not doing anything wrong in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
He thought he was trying to be supportive. Oh, my friend can't do it. I will help him by doing it myself.
Yep.
So it's the that's what we talked about last time, Brett. It's the kind of high school like shortcuts it feels like we keep taking.
They needed one more college pass. They needed the one more old college try at the script.
Yeah. I mean, even if it was one of those deals where Corey stole a poem that Shawn wrote because he couldn't think of any poems or whatever, that could be interesting. Like there's so many other things they could have done using all of the same ingredients.
Yeah, yeah, the ingredients are all there. They just they instead of baking a cake, they bake some substandard brownies with it.
I do love that. Shawn's like trying to say like, did you hear it? Did you understand what this poem is about? And Corey is like, yeah, it's about me.
Corey's so dumb about poetry.
You know, he says, no, it's about Angela. And who should walk in and hear that? Angela.
Angela!
Angela, who was there from the start. Angela, who was going to hear this and have questions about what's the deal.
Yeah. So he's going to have to explain to Angela, who would probably have some questions because she's smart enough about poetry to pick up on something.
Yeah. So Shawn gets smacked and he says thank you sarcastically to Corey. And again, it's this muddled thing of yes, he stepped over a line, but Shawn didn't really make it a clear line. Gray.
Yeah. He stepped over
It,
the gate that Shawn kind of cracked open.
yeah. Well, and part of the problem is you can tell that the acting was important in this moment. You can tell the directing was really good and well done, but it's just that how we got to the goal felt wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what it is, Brett? It's a guy who catches a pass, fumbles it, gets it back, and then runs 90 yards down the field. And you're like, woohoo, we scored. And the quarterback's like, yeah, but I didn't get the touchdown because he fumbled the ball.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and they're now going back into the back and forth of reflecting on what's the deal, how could this all be. Corey and Angela are trying to be there for one another in this situation.
Yeah. And Corey's going to convince her to bare her soul to Shawn because Shawn clearly still has feelings for her. And Corey knows Angela has feelings for Shawn still.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Now, I will also
that's going to
say,
be a good idea.
this is the point where Corey is now actually meddling.
Oh yes.
This is the point where he is potentially going to cross boundaries of something like, hey, it's basically out there. Shawn says he still likes you. You still like him. Just get back together.
Yeah. Nifty, nifty. Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Well, and this is the point where I feel like they should have really started communicating of like, Angela is a you shut the door on me, I shut the door back on you. I will not open the door again.
Mm-hmm.
But they make it sound like Angela's always going to be open to going back into a relationship with Shawn. He just has to admit I was wrong.
Yeah.
She's going to write a 11-page letter and have him read it before they get back together and ask
Front
him,
and
"Do you
back.
agree?" Yes. Yeah, and then Shawn and Angela have this awkward conversation about how, oh yeah, I wrote that when we were still together, and yada yada. It's nice that we're able to talk to each other openly and honestly, because one could argue that though they're still friendly with each other, they're not really close or being friends with each other anymore.
Yeah, they're really not good friends. I mean, we see them in proximity and we see some surface level stuff between them, but they can't be that deep of friends. They can't have that deep of a friendship with the kind of things they're holding back from each other.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But we go back to the Jack, Rachel, and Eric storyline where Rachel apparently is now really close with Audrey.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yep, the Eric Matthews system seems to be working.
Mm-hmm. I do like the question. Hey, by the way, what's the success rate of your system? What system?
You know what? I'm interested to find out too.
Yes, but basically everybody gets a good grade except for Eric.
And are they taking Feeny's Humanities 101 as well? Or is Feeny
Well,
teaching a second class that we don't know about?
I, I again, we've talked about this before, and they don't make it really clear, but we speculated, head canon, dad canon, that Feeny took over Dean Bollinger's class load.
Mm-hmm.
Which is fair and understandable. Um, and so it's probably the psychology class that she originally was teaching that he took over.
Very true. So they're studying. We'll say they studied for the psych final.
Yeah, I mean that could be something that would be very nerve wracking.
Mm-hmm. And it could even be something that he overheard Mr. Feeny say in class.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they never really make clear of what department Feeny is a part of or what specifically he is teaching. So
Well, if we make him part of the humanities department, he can cover humanities, he can cover psychology, he can cover English, he can cover a lot of fields if we just stick him in the humanities department.
yeah, that's probably what they do.
Yeah. So there
Or
we go.
in our
Feeny's,
school, it was sociology.
yeah. Feeny's a humanities professor. How about that? There we go.
Yeah, sounds good. Blah, 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 blah. I we then get to the Shawn and Topanga now have something to bond over because apparently Topanga bought a notebook for Shawn that he wrote it in that was given to him on his birthday, and the poem that was written after his birthday. So yeah, it's a secret that Corey didn't know about, but apparently Topanga was aware enough that he liked to write things. So Topanga got him a notebook for him to do poetry. I guess.
I can almost buy it. Corey, at this point in his life, is kind of self absorbed. So, him recognizing that Shawn likes to write is
Mm,
something that he wouldn't pick up on. But Topanga's a little more detail oriented and would probably notice Shawn off on his own writing something here and there. So, I can kind of. I can kind of buy that.
yeah. But Topanga is trying to do what Corey is doing. Kind of interfere, make clear. You
Mm-hmm.
should just go talk about it. You should go
You
and
love each other. You're supposed to be together.
right. And it's it's the short-mindedness of the two of them not understanding that not everybody's in the same place as them.
It's they're both short-sighted in their views, and Shawn and Angela are both short-sighted in trying to save face for each of themselves.
Yep.
Each one of these four is being very pig-headed
Mm-hmm.
because they can only see as far as the end of the nose on their own face when it comes to what they want for everyone else around them. They see their view of the world and that's it. They can't see beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yep.
just mixed like 3 metaphors there, but it works.
That works. Yeah, but Shawn makes Topanga promise she won't say anything to Angela or Corey. Corey and Angela affirm that yes, Corey will not say anything to Shawn. Corey asked Shawn, "Are we okay? You're my date, aren't you?" It's like that's not the answer to the question.
Nope, but in 90s guy talk, it's good enough.
Yeah,
Because we don't talk about our emotions as guys in college.
but they have talked about. Brett, they are roommates. They spend a lot of time together. They're best friends. They have a bunch of classes together. I don't understand. Yes, but we go to the tag, Brett, where Corey is doing another uh, poetry with bongos, talking about his frustration.
He
And
does start with Mr. Feeny.
yes,
At least give him a little credit. He starts about Mr. Feeny and how he's smart, but he cannot
well,
help him with his frustration.
mhm.
Topanga.
Yes. Well, he does two poems. One's frustration, the other one's just called Feeny. But both of them end with "Come on, Topanga." Brett, those are
Oh,
our deep
yes.
dives.
Okay, well let's hear your deep dives then.
Oh yeah, that was an episode.
People, 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 people. Am I the only one who read the summer reading list?
Can anyone tell that I'm sleep deprived because I have 3 children that don't want to sleep in their own room? Anyone? Anyone?
Oh, I
Okay,
remember
here we
those
go.
days.
Apparently, according to research, finals week, Brett, uh, 45% of college students claim to undergo more than average stress, while 33% of students report average stress, and 12.7 say it's tremendous. It is tremendous stress. Okay. Uh, About 9% say that there's basically no stress or less than average stress. So you're part of the 9%. So lots of things to do to combat stressful studying. We've talked about them before. So the big thing is uh, get a good night rest, trust what you've learned, and make sure you eat a good meal.
Yeah, I always figured if I didn't know it by finals week, I wasn't going to learn it.
Yep. Poetry, Brett. What is it? Poetry is a literary art that uses uh, theistic and often rhythmic qualities language to evoke meaning in addition to or in place of literary or surface level meaning. Any particular instance of poetry is called poem and is written by a poet. Poet uses a variety of techniques called poetic devices, such as uh, sonnets, yeah, alliteration, ephony, go, cacophony, and a couple others that I'm not going to butcher right now because I apparently can't read them. I thought there was something about when. Oh, oh. Poetry from the Greek apparently means maker of language. Okay, so the oldest surviving epic poem is the Epic of
Gilgamesh.
Gilgamesh, yep, dated in the third millennium BCE in Sumer of Mesopotamia. Yes. So Brett Beatnik or beat poetry. Apparently, blah, blah, blah. The term beat generation was coined by writer Jack Kerouac. Kerouac? I don't know.
Kerouac.
Kerouac, yeah, thank you. In 1940s, describing a generation of young people who felt disillusioned with the materialism and conformity post-war America, influenced by philosophy, existential philosophy, jazz music, and Eastern spiritual. The Beat generation sought alternative modes of living and expressing, rejecting societal expectations in favor of personal authenticity and artistic freedom. There's nowhere else you could find that than in a coffee house.
Yeah.
Brett, let's talk about domestic box office in November of 1988.
All right.
1998. You want to take a top guess, Brett, at the top 10 movies?
1998, November. I have no clue. The only movie I can remember was out in November of 98 was Babe Pig in the City 2, and that's only because we talked about it last week.
All right. Well, all right. So we'll start. A couple notable movies that came out in October. Well, yeah, no, Big in the City doesn't come out just yet. Bride of Chucky came out.
Mm-hmm.
As a horror fan, I know that you like that one. Ooh, Life is Beautiful, talking about the humanities.
Oh, yes.
American History X.
Mm-hmm.
Night at the Roxbury. Some stuff that was still in theaters but not coming out at that time period was Saving Private Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I'll Be Home for Christmas. That came out early November.
Hey, we know that one.
September. Rush Hour.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Mm-hmm. Practical Magic. The Wizard of Oz apparently got a re-release in November.
I've been to the town that Practical Magic was filmed in. My uncle lives
All
out
right,
there.
so these two movies weren't in. It was not from the month of November, but it was still in top 10. So you had Vampires, Ants, DreamWorks. Number 8, Pleasantville.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Meet Joe Black. The Siege. Enemy of the State. A Bug's Life. The Rugrats movie. And finally, Brett, drumroll please.
Oh, I
The
might have a
Water
drum
Boy.
roll here.
Sorry.
That's some high quality H2O.
It is. Now, Brett, I will tell you that at the time, I went and saw the Rugrats movie. I'm not sure exactly when, but it was just the dad and the boys went, as in me and my older brother. And I, in the middle of the scene in the nursery area, lost my first tooth.
Hey.
Yeah, so I nervously looked at my dad and went, "Hey, I just lost my tooth." He's like, "Really? In here? Right now?" Yeah. So Usher had to come over and he was helping me look. And I looked down like, "Oh, hey, it's on my hoodie." So I'm like, "Dad, I can't find it." This is before cell phones, so you couldn't just pull out the cell phone and look around.
Yep. Yes. This is what we did
Yes.
before cell phones, kids. Had to
true.
have
You
someone
had
help
to
us
get
out with a
help.
flashlight.
Yes. Now, Brett, I'm sure you can answer this question, but is it actually helpful to go study in the library?
It can be.
It can be. The big thing is there's limited distractions. It's social place, but a lot of times people are all there collectively to do the one thing, and that is to um, get the studying done. There's plenty of people there to actually help you. Quite often there are people there ready to help tutor. There are several librarians who will help you find resources. A problem that does come up, Brett, is what we kind of saw in this episode, which is crowding. If too many people are in the library or too many people in one section, you're not going to get any studying done.
Nope. You're going to run into a troll.
Yeah, there are limitations to the amount of time you can spend at the library. The library will close eventually. If you need to have a meal, you're definitely not going to be able to do that at the library. And of course, there is a factor of transportation. If you don't have a good way of getting to the library to get the things you need, you're going to struggle. So, at the end of the day, Brett, is it helpful to go to the library? It very much can be, unless your name is Eric Matthews and you not study at all.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, is that all of your deep
Those are
dives?
the deep dives. Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, let's talk about what we learned.
You know anything about the Odyssey? Huh? Did I say you could talk?
I didn't teach you that.
My friend Mr. Matthews will lead the discussion.
Do I have to draw you a picture?
Well, I learned something. Well, I'll take my learning from the A story. Whew, I just got a shiver. Be honest. Don't try and save face. It just wastes your time. It wastes other people's time. Just be honest. There's no point in trying to save face just so you can. So good looking people, just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, what did you learn?
Well, I'll take from the better part of the story, Brett. The big thing that I learned is that you have to put the work in, because if you don't, you're going to struggle to find what you need. The amount of times I showed up to take a test and I go, well, I'm either going to do well because I've studied and I prepared, or I'm going to do horrible, and I have to live with that.
Amen. Well,
I'm right?
No, you're exactly right.
So am I done with my education? Can I go?
Tyler, how would you grade Poetic License, an ode to Holden Caufield?
Oh, I'll go with a B minus this go around. This is, again, one of my favorite Eric, Rachel, and Jack storylines, and it does help further the plot of this season that Corey has built a good relationship with Angela, and now Topanga is building a good relationship with Shawn. I fully believe in exactly what we talked about, that there's other ways they could have gotten us there, and they chose not to. We just got to deal with it. It's not as bad as last week where I gave it a C minus, and really it deserved a D minus. We'll just say, because it's just the difference between these 2 weeks is what did this actually further for the stories. And at the end of the day, one of the episodes actually helped project the characters in the right direction to have hard conversations, and also the side story did not entangle each other in the main and secondary story, and Jack and Eric were not creeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
What about you,
bouncing
Brett?
back and forth between a C plus and a B minus myself. I think I'll give it a B minus. I'll be a little gracious to it because it's,
Nice.
like you said, it gives us a little more development on Topanga and Shawn, and we get some solid stuff in the B plot. There's good direction. There's good acting. It just needed, the script needed one more solid pass to give us a little better motivation, a little better to work with the ingredients. So yeah, I'll go with a B minus.
Nice.
So I want my dad joke before we turn this puppy out.
All right. Well, let's try this one, Brett. Sure. Why did the sun skip college?
Why?
Because it already has like 1,000,000 degrees. I'll give you another one. let's do it. All right, Brett. A new student at Harvard stopped an upperclassman and asked, "Where's the library at?" The upperclassman answered, "Never end a sentence with a preposition. Cops do it on TV, but it's not proper, so speak." So to speak, the new student said, "Pardon me, where's the library at, moron?"
I like that one.
All right. Brett, you did it a couple weeks ago. I'm going to do it anyway. I think every college athlete should get paid to play sports, except Tennessee. They're volunteers.
That's right.
Okay. I think that's an episode.
I think so too. So, good looking people, thanks for sticking around with us. And if you'd like to share your thoughts, you can reach us across our social media channels at dadsmeetworld across Instagram, Facebook, and X, and on YouTube at dadsmeetworld. You can also send us an email at dadsmeetworld@gmail.com. And hey, if you send us messages, we'll read them on air. We'll respond to them. We just love to talk with you guys if you want to talk to us.
Yeah.
And if you want some cool Dads Meet World swag, Threadless at dadsmeetworld.threadless.com. Good stuff there. So until next time, we'll see you, good looking.
Back to you, good looking.
You know, how can I learn so much every week and still be so stupid? Underpants. I want to be normal, spud. Ow, that hurt. Was that duckies? No, garbage. Oh, I am never gonna pee again.
This is good TV.
Dads Meet World is a production of Headfirst Studios. Headfirst Studios. Tell your story.
Growl and hiss at each other. Hey! I'm trying to say something from the heart.
Hello, hello.
Nope, that's in the headphone. Okay, we're good.
Okay.
I was like, wait, am I hearing you over? Oh, gosh, technology.
Uh-oh.
No internet connection? What happened?
Oh, it's going to be one of those recordings